Children, they say, are blessings from God, and when they come in pairs, they are considered double blessings. Despite the advent of Christianity and Islam, some villages within the Federal Capital Territory still indulge in the old age practice of killing twins, which was abolished in the 19th century by Mary Michelle Slasser, the then Scottish missionary to Nigeria. It was a belief in Calabar at that time that if women had twins, one of them was considered evil. Surprisingly, it was discovered lately in the FCT that some communities and villages within the FCTs see twins as taboos. In a small village called Kiyi in the Kuje Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, the co-founder of Vine Heritage Homes, Mr. Stephen Olushola Ajayi, showed us children, especially twins, that were rescued from families and communities who abandoned them and saw them as taboos.
This is Eric and this one is Erica. They are 1 year plus. And these triplets, this is Lazarus, Cindy, Sandra. They are also 1 year plus now.
According to the data collected by the foundation, over 62 communities in the FCT practice this act. Aside rejecting and killing of twins, these communities also reject multiple births, such as triplets, quadruplets, babies born with Down syndrome or any form of deformity. While some of the communities engage in this barbaric practice openly, others do it secretly. However, 8 communities out of the 62 communities are said to have stopped this act and has begun to accept the children living amongst them. These communities include Kiyi and Tugbudu communities of the Kuje Area Council, Gomani and Tekpese of Kwali Area Council, Kutarawa, Nasarawa, Bangede of Abaji Area Council, Sabon Kaida community of the Gwagwalada Area Council of the FCT. 85% of children of the Vine Heritage Homes come in as a result of being rejected from their families or communities. For every twins born, an altar was built as a sign of taboo, he said. The question remains, what are the authorities doing to put a stop to this barbaric act?
We'd like to commend you for a good job. This is humanitarian, and may God bless your efforts. First
Amen.
things.
Amen.
Okay, we got information about the twins. You know, we actually got some news that in this community, there was something against twins. First, we just want to give you to introduce that story to us first.
Well, if the story of twins is not just about this community where we are,
okay,
it's about over 50 communities around FCT, across 5 area council of FCT. So they believe that twins are not normal children. They believe it's an abomination to give birth to a multiple birth children. Once a child is more than one, they felt it's not appropriate. Culturally, they don't allow those children to live. They do away with them through various means.
Okay, but is this like an old practice, or is it still happening now?
Well, it's not an old practice, because in as much as we have our youngest set of twins and our triplets now, and the persons of I have a set of triplets, and we still have a set of twins that are just a little above 1 year. That is recent. And that's just one out of the practices that we are trying to trust God to help us tackle and rescue the children.
So now, do you think the twins, do they actually abandon them? Or do they kill them, or they abandon them?
No, they are not abandoned. If they are abandoned, I think it's either they throw them in the bush. No. What they do is that when they are delivered, according to the information we gather from our local informants among them. They have some herbal roots they use to poison them. They give them to drink, and this is what eventually kills the children. And of course, if they don't do that, the other method we know, the God that they used to do, is that they can cover them with calabash to choke them to death. Once they cover, they are denied oxygen. Of course, after a while, the children die. So those are the methods they use. They don't abandon them and strain them, and maybe they have a bush. No,
They quietly kill them.
And because it is not announced to anybody, it's just the family who has them that will do that. Because they know they can't even live with them. So that's.
So how did you get to find out about this and your interest in actually going out after these twins?
Well, when we started that, we didn't start out as a social worker or children intervention officer. What we started with was our normal missionary duty. Myself, my wife are both serving missionary with an organization called Christian Missionary Foundation. And what we do basically in that organization is to look for rural communities where there is no knowledge of Jesus Christ. We don't go to where you already have existing churches, because we believe that there are a lot of places where we need to cover. So, but we have chosen to work in rural community, because the mainline churches, the majority of the churches don't like working in the interior.
Yes.
So as an organization, we have chosen to work in the
As
interior.
missionaries.
As missionaries.
Brilliant.
So it is why we are doing all normal missionary activity, teaching the Bible, raising disciples, church planting, that we started hearing. Though the first time we got to know this, we got to hear about it was actually in 95. And just as you are asking whether it's an old practice, we also felt maybe this practice was old, and so some of them denied initially that they were doing it, until few of their local people began to point my attention to what we call the twin altars. And the twin altar that exists wherever a set of twins is delivered and they are dead. Then if you look at the typical twin altar, you see sacrifices on the altars. Then you ask the question, the altars exist, where are the children? You won't find them. So when they deny, so when we got the information about the altar, so they kept asking, okay, what is this meant? It's for the twins. Where are they? They are dead. What kills them? Nobody talks. And so the existence of twin altar attests to the fact that this practice is going on. Because wherever you see the twin altar, that means the children are.
And the twin altar still exists.
It still exists. It still exists. It's abound in the communities.
Okay, so the kids that you have right now, how did you get them?
The
twins.
Yeah. Apart from the twins, there are other practices we are trying to tackle. The twin is just because our country we like twins. We like twins a lot, and people talked about it because from where I came from, when a woman is pregnant, it doesn't matter whether it's your first pregnancy or second. When they see you heavy, in my place they say they be calling you mama twins, even when they don't even know what you are going to go for. But that's not just what we are targeting. There are other practices like our recent baby. The mother died, and the father, that child is less than 1 month old. The father swore that I had nothing to do with this child, that this child bewitched my wife and killed my wife.
And the babies are here?
And the child is here, though she's in the hospital in the intensive care unit. The father said, I don't want to do anything with this child because this child killed my wife. So why should I have anything doing with that? And so that practice even gave us more children than
the twins.
The twins.
Are you saying that when a when a mother dies, the father abandons the child?
Not just the father, the community rejects the baby. The belief is that this child has evil power that killed the mother.
So you say most of your babies here? Most
of our baby came from that practice, because the community we're talking about, maternal mortality is very high. And I feel that if all the nursing mother that dies in the communities are actually reported. You discover that in our rural communities, you have a lot of maternal mortality. Why? Because most women don't attend prenatal and postnatal care. And so there are things that could have been avoided before the real day of delivery. Maybe they have noticed, oh, this woman, you need to pay attention to this. And so a woman dies, the child is alive. They said, you child, you have evil power, male or female, you kill your mother and then you must die. And such children, two things they do. Now they are getting away from the normal practice. The normal practice, when we first knew the story, is that when they want to bury the mother, they put the living child together with the corpse of the mother and bury. I have some grown-up children now that were taken from, some are 12, some are 13, some are 14, that were taken away from such practices. Some already tied to the dead body of the mother. But what they are doing in recent time is that, okay, we'll not bury, but that child is abandoned like this baby. It was our missionary contact on ground that actually picked up the baby. When he noticed that nobody is caring for the baby, that baby was not properly fed for close to 7 days. And
the father is alive?
The father is alive. That baby is malnourished. That baby is dehydrated because it was not properly fed. I learned what they were doing is that if they see any woman who will agree, because normally no woman will even agree if she has her own baby to help to breastfeed this baby. Because and even shall you kill your mother, I won't want you to kill me too. So, but if you see some few who are changing in their heart about those practices, we volunteer. But because the woman does not even live in that house, is when they see her available, she maybe once a day breastfeed the child, you abandon, you leave the child there. So it was in that process our missionary contact on ground saw that baby and said, this child will die. Look at the way this child. And that missionary was privileged to be there when the mother delivered. But the mother didn't die during delivery. It was about 10 days after delivery, the mother took her and they took her to a private clinic. It was during that last strike. And then she passed on, and then the father said, no, I had nothing to do. And that's our youngest baby. So that practice gave us the highest number of children we have today.
So you're saying majority of your children actually come from that practice?
From
you, a mother dying, and the father and the community saying no to this child?
No, the child is evil.
So let's talk about your rescue missions or your interventions. How do you get the twins?
Yeah, just like I told you, I have a lot of people. Because, like I said, when I'm doing my missionary work, one of the things I do is to also get some local people. And let me say that people practicing it, in their majority, they are still traditionalists in those communities. They don't belong to Christianity, they don't belong to Islam. But once a while, we see people who are even coming out to either Christian or Islam, still afraid of keeping the children. Because for that purpose, I have seen some family who are Muslims, I've seen some family who are even attending a church on ground where the missionary planted, and they have those twins, and they are still afraid. He said, no, now in the church, you should not believe. He said, but it's not just me. The entire community has not accepted them. So keeping them here is a trouble to me.
So they abandon the twins?
They will bring them. That's how they bring them. They bring them on their own. When we started, we used to go. When we get information from our local contact, which we don't disclose to anybody, because part of what we do is to say to some of their people, please, this is what we want to do. Because of the work we're doing, we like to save these children. If you get information about a child who lost his mother, a set of twins or children have been delivered, and you know their life will be in danger, you give us a call, we will come. So in the early days, when we started, we go to such communities, find whosoever is the community leader, is either me or my local contact missionary, will do that on my behalf, and then we please, can we take these children away so that we can nurse them? And then when they agree with us, we pick the baby. There are some cases they don't agree. No matter what we say sorry, you can't take them away, and there's nothing we're going to do.
So what did you do?
Of course, you know, if it's a child, of course the child will be poisoned to death.
Have you followed up to see that a child that did not allow you to take?
You won't find them when you get back there. That's how we know that the child is no longer alive. Because when you say, okay, I want to pick up these children, and they say, sorry, you are not picking, and then you come in about a month or two's time, and you ask from your local contacts where you have to get the information. I follow them up with my local contact because they live together in the community. Our missionaries, some of our missionaries live together in the community. So I keep asking, how are those twins? Like we have a recent twin deliver, they are stopped killing now in one particular village.
How many villages are these?
It's not just one. The villages are over 50. There are about 62 across, about 62, 64 across the FCT.
In the FCT?
In the FCT. Some are stopping. Like we have 7 categorically.
What's the youngest twins you have?
The youngest twin I have, I think they should be Eric and Erica.
How old?
And Eric and Erica should be about 1 year plus.
So you just recovered them?
Yes.
When they were babies?
Yes, when they are babies.
So that means it hasn't stopped?
It hasn't stopped because why I usually say it hasn't stopped is when you see them walking on here, and I said, we don't have per se somebody on ground, but because of information we are passed across the villages, please, when you get them, pass them on to me. Like this was even a neighboring village to FCT. They were indigenous of FCT, but they are living in the neighboring town in Lapa local government. They moved there, because the people, they look for more land to go and farm. If they feel their land is getting bad, they move over. So they have moved from their home, the original home.
The
Basakomos.
Basakomos.
But they are moved into an area that now fell under Niger. But they are Abuja indigenous.
Abuja indigenous.
So that was it that on Sunday? I think Sunday or so. It was on Sunday, the recent baby, 5 months old baby boy. That was on Sunday. What happened? In fact, we had to question them. Okay, what happened to the mother? The mother died. What killed the mother? She went to farm, she came back and she was cooking, she fell down and she died. So why did you bring the baby? And we don't want the baby to die. That's just a normal thing you hear.
Oh.
So, and you don't need to prove for
And
that.
the baby has a father?
He has a father. In fact, it was the father and his relative that brought the child. So because we are at a stage now, because I need to let you know that the government...
Yes, we're coming there,
yes.
Definitely, because all this cannot be happening in the FCT, and we have a councillor and we have a House of Representative member that is actually representing those communities,
yes.
And we have the senator, then we have the government. I mean,
yes.
What is the government doing about this?
Yes, government, I think...
I wanted to just hear your story before coming there.
To be fair, the government has done their bit, and it's not just this year. I think between 2013 and 2014, through the FCT administration, we were invited, myself and my wife, we were invited. I can show you a copy of the letter. We were invited when they heard about it, even though we have written, I can also show you a copy of the letter.
Yes.
We have written officially to the social welfare because we didn't know how widespread, because our work, because it's voluntary, even as missionaries, you don't have finances.
But you're the field workers, you're the ones that actually have your personal contact with the villagers. So
we wrote to them telling them that we've discovered a practice as we are doing our missionary assignment. This and this and this and this and this are what we have discovered. In fact, we were writing that so that nobody will get on our head and say, why are you keeping children? So we had to tell them how we got the children and to also let them know the practices. So,
and what did they do?
And so the first thing they did, of course I was not there when they called the locals. I was told that before we were invited, they called some of their local councillors, like you said, some of their clan leaders, and said, we are seeing some news in Nigeria flying about killing of twins and other under the title infanticide, that some children are killed due to cultural causes. What is it about? Some of them deny outrightly. Some of them agree that yes, we were doing it before, but we are no longer doing it. Some say no, it never even existed. There was nothing like that. So this one say it never exists. This one say yes, we were doing it before. This one say yes, we are doing it. Then which one do we hold on to? It was at that time the FCT minister sent us a letter. Please, you need to come and talk to us. So I went with my wife, we talked with them, and we spent like 2 hours plus at at the office of the minister, and with some of the people, their own people, spoke to them, and of course all the children we got, we have a register.
And the families they come from?
Yes, we have the register of all our children. Where they came from, the circumstances of their birth, what happened to their mother, if they are twins, why did they bring them? Right. If they are albinos, because albino is also involved, they also don't accept albinos. So we have all the data. So part of what we do when we go there is that we told them, albino, this one, and then we have what they requested for it after we talked with them at the office of the minister. That was in 2000, I think that should be 2013. They talked with us and they asked for information. Can you tell us the location? We provided the name of the villages we have in our own data, and they said, okay, we have listened to you. From all that you're saying to us, it appears that this practice is real. Because it's not just saying, there's a child, we cannot trace who the father and mother is. You'll be like an abandoned child. But a child that you can quote the father's name, the mother's name, the grandparents, the community, the area council, and the village. So you can go in there and ask, is there anybody called by this name? And then, oh yes, where is his house? This is his house here. Do you know one pastor? There's a child there, yes.
Okay,
how did the child get there?
Okay, so they investigated. And they found out that you were saying the truth.
Yes, they investigated.
Okay, so what did they do? Or what have they done?
What I know they did was, after that, I was not part of the government, but somehow, because I was getting feedback from some of the communities. After the investigation, some clan leaders called me and said, government came to ask us about this. Okay, and so I got to know that after that, they called back people representing them at local authority, at all those levels of government intervention. So they call them and say, now, initially we asked you, you said that practice is not odd. Now we have done our investigation, and I was not part of their investigating team. Whatever parameter they used to get their information, I do not know. But they got the information, and that report is sitting there in the office of. You can get there and pick up.
And this was in 2014.
Yes.
And you have a 1-year-old child that you picked. So that means if they have done anything, this child won't be here.
You should realize that when anything had to do with culture, you can't just solve it in 1 year. You can't even solve it in 2 years, because it had to do. Culture is a fabric of the society. Is in them. Outwardly they may say we will stop, but like I used to ask them, when next you have the delivery of things, what happens? When you have a nursing mother die, what comes to your mind? Now, if we have not been able to help them to overcome the fear they have for those children, it's not just telling them, please stop. The next time is when they have it, what happens? Because these people that investigate, you are not going to live with them in that community after your investigation. You will investigate and you go. Now, when you are gone, they still come back to themselves, and they have such children, they just don't know what do we do. So, I know they set up a committee to intervene. NOA was involved, National Orientation Agency was involved, some other government agencies were involved, and on your way back to this capital city, when you are driving out of Kuje, you notice a signboard to your left. It's part of what they were doing to sensitize the people. You see a signboard that read, twins are special blessings of God. Let's stop the killing of FCT administration. They wrote it in their local language. They wrote it in Hausa. This is a sensitization program. They also go into the communities, something like a town hall meeting called the youth leader.
And it's going on.
I don't know if it's still going on, but I was sure between 2014, 2015, it was going on so well.
From 2014 till now, how many twins do you have in your custody?
It was after the investigation that David and Davida came. It was after then that Eric and Erica came. It was after that.
So after the investigation, you still had more twins?
Yes, I still have more twins.
So that means it wasn't so successful. Like you said, it is a cultural thing.
It's a cultural thing. It was successful to an extent. My measure of their success is the fact that
they were sensitizing.
Many communities now started bringing them on their own.
Okay, so they stopped maybe the killings.
They stopped the
They started bringing them to
okay,
you.
We won't kill them, but
we won't kill
you
them.
have them.
You have them.
Brilliant.
So that's a good aspect of them, because before then there was nothing like that. Because we have gone to places where no matter what we say to them, they won't give us, and we can't do them anything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This findings is not going to end here. Definitely, we're going to hear from the government and also do some investigative reporting on it. Thank you so much. I've been talking to Mr. Stevens Olushola Ajayi. He's the co-founder and head of operations Vine Heritage Home Foundation here in Kuje local government area in Abuja. The program is Dateline. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.